Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom. I have just witnessed Nottingham Forest 1, Derby County 0 in the East Midlands derby. The first one was a draw, 0-0, so bragging rights in this game this season go to Forest. They are undefeated in this game and have taken 4 points out of Derby. They go to 1 point behind Derby in the table. They are now in 8th place, but there's still traffic and there's still games in hand, and you still wouldn't make either of them favourites to get into the playoffs now without a really good run between now and the end of the season. So Forest get the win. First time I've seen Forest play under Martin O'Neill. I've actually seen the last 3 Derby games, so I'm in pretty update knowledge with them. And here is what happened at the City Ground. Forest lining up. It's a 4-1-4-1 formation. O'Neill, he wants stoppers out wide and he wants one in the hole, in the deep midfield, defensive midfield position. Pantilimon in goal. Darikwa, Milosevic, Benalouin and Robinson are the back four. Ben Watson sits in front there. Lolly off to the right, always cuts in on his left foot there, dangerous. Yates and Colback, so quite the triangle of competitive centre midfielders there. Osborne down the left. Daryl Murphy up front. Martin O'Neill's made his intentions very clear here. He's got Lewis Grabban here. He's got Leo Bonatini here. He wants to play a big guy up front. Do not be surprised if there's a lot of money spent on a 6-foot+ striker at Forest in the summer. Derby, it's one of those ones where I'm not quite sure it's a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Depends where Dwayne Holmes goes, really. Roos in goal. Bogle, Keogh, Tamore, Ashley Cole, left back. You've got King and Huddleston sitting. When Holmes is alongside them, it looked like a 4-3-3. When he's a bit further forward, it looked like a 4-2-3-1. Kind of. That might even sum up some of the problem with Derby at the moment. The identity isn't quite as clear as it was in their good spells this season. Waghorn, front right. Wilson, front left. And Marriott, with his pace, up in the number 9 position. And absolute pandemonium because we have a 1-minute goal in this game. Everyone was texting me saying they watched 5 hours of football yesterday and didn't see a goal. Well, remember, I was at the first one of these games and I've already watched 90 minutes of these two teams and not seen a goal. But we get one after 1 minute. Absolute pandemonium when this went in. It was really loud. They do that whole Mull of Kintyre thing at Forest and it doesn't quite settle down for a minute or two, and they scored in the rush. So it's a free kick just off to the right hand side, and Lolly is going to curl this one in with his left foot. He sets up and it doesn't look like a great free kick when it goes in. It's a little bit floaty, a little bit high. Doesn't look like he's quite got his radar right, but it's poor from Bogle, and Bogle was at fault for the Millwall goal in the last Derby game. Maybe one of those young defenders who's better going forward than they are. Haven't quite got the defensive side down yet. He's on the back post. He's unchallenged, but I think Osborne runs behind him and just kind of puts him off. It's a poor header by Bogle, heads it right up in the air, and you know what happens there. You're static as a defender, and the red shirts, of course, then pile on. Up it goes. Robinson does the right thing. He just does a chaos header, basically. He heads it back across the goal. Benalouin is there. He's on the back post. He must be no more than 2 yards out from goal. He sweeps it in on the volley. Wow. First action, first chance, 1-0 Forest. Not what you want at all if you're Frank Lampard. This now turns into a typical tense local derby. The ball not settling anywhere at all for the first 10 minutes. Out of play. Lots. Big throw in by Robinson from the left. Murphy under pressure on the back post. Heads that over on 10 minutes. And then we get a really, really key minute in the game because there's going to be 2 big misses that really play into the narrative of this now. The first one is for Derby. Holmes picks it up in a slightly deep position, which does make me think they're playing 4-3-3. He moved around a little bit. I need to see this again because I'm not sure he means to pierce the entire defence here. He might be, and I might be doing him a disservice, but if he did, it was a great ball because he plays it, slides it through with pace on the floor, and all of a sudden Waghorn has made a run in off his sort of right forward position. I thought maybe he was trying to find Marriott with the pass, but it goes straight through, and Holmes literally takes out every red shirt on the pitch with this pass. And it's one of those confused moments. Waghorn is in behind. Maybe even he's confused because this is poor from a player of his standard. Obviously, I'm a biased Ipswich fan at this point, but I saw him. He definitely would have put this away last season. He's in behind. He must have lost concentration waiting for the flag. In he goes behind there, and he dinks it over Pantilimon and wide of the goal. I'm looking for a flag. I'm pretty sure one doesn't come because Tom Huddleston immediately starts holding his head. What a chance there. But then, straight up the other end, and another horrible miss by another ex-Ipswich striker. It's a complete giveaway. They give the ball straight to Lolly in the inside right position, and as soon as he drives forward, they're all flat-footed, and it's 2-on-1 for Forest. Lolly moves forward. He squares it to Murphy. It's not actually a bad touch by Murphy, but I think it's that classic. He's just got too much time. I think if he only had one touch here, he probably sweeps this into the net first time. He takes a touch, and then he looks like he's not sure what he wants to do. Does he want to go left? Does he want to go right? Does he want to try and sidestep Roos? Roos ends up pouncing on the next touch and takes the ball off his toes in the penalty box. Both players should have scored. There should be more than one goal on the board. Poor from Waghorn, poor from Murphy, and perhaps the type of profligate finishing that does not get tolerated when you're up in the top six there, when you're getting going and when you're on the move in that top six. Maybe those chances, a bit more confidence, maybe they go in. Goodness me, the failings of the ex-Ipswich strikers there. 19, Huddleston, lovely diagonal ball. We know he's got this in his locker, Huddleston. Sets Ashley Cole away. Chases it right down to the byline. I love this from Cole. He decides, look, I'm not going to take a touch. I'm going to cross it. So he sets his stride. He sets his body shape beautifully. Crosses it first time, so the defenders have to face onto this cross, facing their goal. Goes all the way over to the back to Waghorn. It falls down. Osborne gets there first, but kind of messes it up, really. Bogle nicks in behind him. He goes into the 6-yard box, and he's just blocked out. They're shut out before pulling the trigger. Good play by Huddleston and Cole. They got the ball moving quickly there, showed some quality. Frenetic stuff first quarter here. Early goal and 2 big misses. Forest have more intensity and they have the lead, but you can see the possession game is probably going to go Derby's way. Forest going to be a little bit more direct. Nice little setup, 2 slightly different styles in this game. 24, big tackle on Yates by Wilson. Probably good for Wilson there that the game doesn't stop here and the advantage is played, because I'm sure he would have been surrounded by red shirts there for throwing himself into that one. The advantage goes. Murphy and Osborne battle on. Lolly inside right curler. Left-footed straight at Roos there. Eventually, when the play dies down, Wilson gets his yellow card. Don't know who the ref was today. Don't care. Thought he was good. Thought he was a strong referee, whoever he may be today. It's good when I don't know the name of the ref. I don't really want to. I don't come to football to see the referee. Big dust-up again, though, on 28. Holmes shepherds it out. Yates takes him out when he's gone off the pitch there. Naughty. Yates tries to kind of run away from all of it after the fact that Holmes gets down and shoves him over. They both get a yellow card again. I think the ref deals with this well, pulls the 2 captains in. Like I said, Yates tried to run away after he was shoved down, but no, the ref was on top of everything, watching closely there, and probably called that one right. Gave the 2 yellows. Let's calm this down now. Derby, they play the right channel this side. Marriott sneaks in on Benaluin. He he doesn't outmuscle him as such. I think he just preempts it and uses his superior pace there on the big guy. Clumsy right foot from Benalouan, and Marriott throws himself down. No decision for the ref there. The big guy again, Benalouan, big ball down the left here. Great play by Robinson. Really leaves Bogle for dead. He gets it back, kind of cuts back across the box with the left foot. Lolly is arriving, back corner of the box, hits this one first time across Roos, flies just past the post. I think I caught a replay of that in the concourse at half time, and I think possibly that could have been diverted in by whoever was following in, possibly Osborne or Murphy in the box there. Must admit I didn't catch that in real time. Yates coming into half time looking like a red card risk. Probably needs Martin O'Neill rather than Roy Keane to have a word with him at half time here. Commits a foul on a yellow card and then a bit of a dive over Huddleston. Looking like a bit of a red card risk there whilst on the yellow card. Half time. Good watch this one. Forest direct and intense. I think in key positions here. Robinson plays well, gets forward. Dirickwa doesn't really the other side. Murphy is effective up there. A few things bounce off him, but in the main was a very good outlet. And as I know as an Ipswich fan, he can be. And Lolly, very effective on that right-hand side. He's obviously been told when you get it, dribble. When you get it, engage, come inside, get crosses in and get shots off. So I think those players stood out a little bit in the respect that the three centre midfielders were really there in a more defensive type position, with Watson watching the play from just a little bit further back than Colback and Yates. Derby, many more passes from Derby to get to where they were going to. Forest happy to play the channels and play diagonals to the wingers Osborne and Lolly and play direct into Murphy, whereas Derby tried to build the play up. Forest making a point of marking Tamori and Keogh from the goal kicks and trying to make Roos play long. He didn't want to, and a couple of scary moments doing that. So Derby, here's the thing where you get caught out. I say Derby, I won't say played the better football, I'll say they played the more passing football, because look, who's winning the game and who had more clear chances. So what is better football? It's direct against slightly more playing through the thirds. But really, I think Forest edged the first half. There's not much in it at all other than that early goal. Obviously, those two big chances as well. Either of those, both of those really should have been taken, but call that 2-1. So I think we just say Forest edged the first half. Lampard reacts. I was a bit hard on Lampard after the Millwall win at Derby. I thought he didn't really have an answer to the Millwall sitting back and low blocking them. So he brings Joseph Soon in for Huddleston at half-time. So far more a 4-3-3 now. King is the deep sitting midfielder. Holmes and Wilson tucks in to centre midfield. Third game in a row, actually, I've seen of Wilson looking pretty quiet. Maybe you need a rest, possibly. Derby fans, let me know in the comments there. Joseph Soon goes out on the left wing. Waghorn on the right. Marriott down the middle. Joseph Soon, of all of those attacking midfielders Derby have, will go round the outside and stretch them like more of a wing. And that's a threat that they've not really had in these couple of games. Gets a little bit clustered. I know Bennett on the bench can do that as well. For Derby, Joseph Soon into the action quickly. Low cross all the way over from the right. He picks it up, cuts inside. Dirickwa doesn't want to show him his left foot. He curls it right-footed. Pantilimon, big paw. They're not taking any chances. Pushes that around the post. And you think, from a Derby point of view, have they got a bit more threat to stretch Forest laterally now? That looked like the plan from Lampard. King gets hurt after this. I think possibly in the same instant, didn't quite see what happened. He is going to limp out of the game in a minute, but Derby playing with 10 men. Murphy bustles wide, feeds Joe Lolly. Lovely curler by Lolly. He's got a couple of guys in the way, uses them as the kind of, the angle to curl the ball around. It's just wide of Roos's right-hand post. He has a good dive at that. 53, Bradley Johnson comes in for Andy King in centre midfield in the anchor position. Don't think Derby have an answer in centre midfield when Mount isn't there. I've seen like 3 or 4 different configurations across these last 3 games I've seen, and they really are missing him in that in that position there. 69, Lolly, breakaway. He runs and runs and runs and runs, shoots from outside the box, floats well over. Pattern of the game here. Forest, it's not a low block, but they are sitting in, and really Derby aren't creating anything. Forest doing the ugly stuff well. Any loose ball, they're not giving Derby any easy 50-50s or any easy space here. The wide guys funneling out, doing a good job. Murphy holding it when he can up front, a little bit less effective than in the first half. Forest play the channel again though, and this is where Murphy does do well. He slides it back up the line. It's lifted in, dinked over beautifully into Guediori's into the box. He's bearing down, he's on an angle. Great block by Keogh. Gets across there. They're the sort of things that get forgotten in games because no shot hits the target there. Good defending by the old campaigner there. 78 is getting a bit more nervy now, but still Derby aren't creating chances. I think, I wouldn't say Forest looked comfortable, but they did look solid and up for the fight at the back. Martin O'Neill's got his typical Bobo Balde and Jerry Taggart, Matt Elliott type defenders in the big guys, Beneluen and Milosevic, and they do squeeze well. Forest, all the goal kicks go long and they get up the pitch very well and make sure that they're not hemmed in. They seem to make a point of that and was effective in this game. 81 now, Lolly forward down the right. He crosses it, takes a little nick. Guediori goes all in on the bicycle kick here. He looks amazing as he does it, but smashes it over the bar. Guediori, I saw earlier in the season, right at the start of the season, shoot from way inside his own half and then he score a spectacular goal against West Brom. Tries for the overhead kick. Maybe just does it when I'm there. Let me know, Forest fans. I'm not sure he's got that in his locker necessarily. But you can see, I'm sure Derby had more possession here, but I'm not reading out Derby chances, am I? Yellow for Colbeck here on Bennett. Bennett had a good run in off the right. Sorry, did I not mention? I should have mentioned, shouldn't I? The two subs, yeah. Guediora in for Watson on 69. That wasn't a like for like because Colbeck went and sat in front of the back four. Bennett for Wilson. Sorry, I really did drop a bollock there, missed that out. Derby had gone 4-4-2 with two orthodox wingers. Bennett down one side, Josephson down the other. Bonatini comes in for Murphy. Hearty round of applause for Murphy. O'Neill wants to play with a big man. Don't know where that leaves Lewis Graben at Forest here. 89, Holmes battling with Osborne. He does really well, actually. Osborne stands him up a couple of times. Holmes eventually beats him. Deep cross, Pantilimon, unconvincing. Flappy, flappy, flappy. It's landing. Johnson calls my ball. He hits it, but it doesn't fall for him and he volleys it over the top. Flying volley out. Left-footed, 5 minutes stoppage time. And as you can imagine, with the pattern of this game in the second half, Forest see this out fairly easily. Wagway comes in for Osborne just to freshen up down that left-hand side and look after Bennett. So, there you go. Forest get the win with that really, really early goal. The two big chances are the other part of the narrative. In the second half, really, Forest did a good job on Derby, sat on their 1-0 lead and kind of played the channels and broke where they could with Lolly and with Murphy holding it up. Derby, frankly, just didn't have enough threat. The big chance fell to Waghorn, but the caveat to that is Murphy also missed a big chance. So really, these teams evenly matched. Look at the table, look at the two games between them, only one goal in the two games, and that one goal comes from a set play, comes early, it's pure concentration, and Forest get the bragging rights from that. Let's talk about Forest. It's the first time I've seen them under Martin O'Neill, and he hasn't changed really since the late 90s, has he? Two big centre-backs. He wants his full-backs to get forward and provide support. He loves himself a winger. We've seen plenty of them. Steve Guppy comes to mind from the Leicester days. His centre midfield, well, we remember Savage and Izzet and Lennon, those type of players. That's what he wants the centre midfield to do. Hasn't changed at all. Big guy up front holding and feeding people in. The question I have for Forest fans is, will that work in the Championship, that type of football? We saw Neil Warnock, who's an old school protagonist take a promotion last season. So if you get good players and you get some momentum into that system, I don't see why it shouldn't. Obviously, the teams at the top of the season are playing slightly different way to that. Norwich, Sheffield United and Leeds with their intensity. West Brom, maybe Middlesbrough and Pulis play. No, it's not quite as pragmatic as Pulis ball. Let's have that known. But I thought Forest were pretty good today. Certainly, they're going to be hard to play against for everybody. And once I think they click and get the momentum, I think he'll do all right. I just have a sneaking suspicion that in maybe 18 months' time, Roy Keane's going to be the Nottingham Forest manager, and O'Neill's already said if he doesn't take them up, he's off at the end of next season. So Masterbin promised some money, so look out for that big 6-foot striker in the summer. What I'm interested from, if there's any Forest fans watching, is he's obviously told the owners, look, I'm not doing this with Karanka's players, and you've got that really expensive Carvalho, not going to play with a number 10, a tricky kind of Portuguese number 10. He's on the bench. Grabbing a more kind of predatory number 9. Well, he wanted Big Murphy in there, so be really interested to see what happens with that Forest squad and how they transition fully over, say, the 3 transfer windows of January, summer, and then January again into the O'Neill regime and out of what Karanka did. But Forest, I think, deserved the win. Not sure whether they're going to make the playoffs. But hey, you know what momentum's like in the Championship? Bristol City could fall down. That's the opening. Derby look like they're falling away. Let's talk about Derby. I've seen their last 3 games. I saw them draw against Ipswich. Ipswich probably could have won that one. I saw them lose at home to Millwall. They had no answer for Millwall's kind of away low block defensive tactics, and Millwall snatched the win. And again, today, so the only goal in those 3 games was Lawrence's kind of fortuitous early goal at Ipswich, which took a big deflection, very sort of concentration issue, similar to the early goal today. So I'd be slightly worried. Derby are in a bit of a blip. They're missing Mount. I know some Derby fans are a bit anti-Tom Lawrence, but I think they missed his bustle and his pace and his directness as well today. Waghorn is, I think Waghorn's a number 9 or a number 10 there, not a wide guy. But so Derby fans, let me know what you think. What's the expectation from Lampard? Can he push back and get them into that top 6? They're not in good form at the moment. That's not to say they won't find it again. I've enjoyed my trip up here tonight. So please get your thoughts in the comments. Thumbs up if you're just a watcher. Hit the subscribe button. Loads of content on the Championship. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. Tomorrow night, what a week, I will be at QPR versus Leeds. Can Leeds go back to the top of the league? I'll be Championship previewing on Thursday night or Friday night. Possibly haven't figured that out yet. I'm not at any games this weekend, but I will be at the Sheffield Derby next Monday night. So well worth subscribing to the channel if you're a Championship fan. Thank you for watching. Forest take the bragging rights tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. QPR versus Leeds. Over and out.